So now that you've had a tour of Bernie's homestead, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Bernadette Casiano, like I said, and people call me Bernie. I am a nurse, so I do have a full-time job. I am a single mother. I have 4 children, and I started homesteading back in 2006 when I lived in a property that had a lot of acres. And it was something that I never did before. It was really self-learned. This was really before any YouTube was around, and internet was there, but not really. And I just learned from local neighbors and people that lived in my community how to raise chickens, how to butcher them, how to do gardening. And I really loved it. But in 2010, we moved back to the suburbs of Los Angeles. And I didn't do any more homesteading. And it was really something that I missed, and I really loved it when I did it. So I decided one day that, even though you're in a suburban home, maybe you can still homestead. So I just kind of looked around and said, well, what can I do here? And I just started getting creative ideas. As long as you have good soil and a little space, you can do it. Then I said, well, what about chickens? Because we live in a suburban homestead and they are loud when they lay eggs. So I don't want to have any roosters. I don't want to piss off the neighbors. Well, I had hens, no problem. They lay eggs, they're loud, and I butter up the neighbors with eggs and vegetables. But then one day, one of the hens was not a hen, it was a him. And he started crowing at 4 a.m. and I was like, oh. So I politely spoke with the neighbors and said, I'm sorry. If he's going to be a problem, I will get rid of him. No problem. I don't want any problems with my neighbors. And I haven't had any problems yet. So there are ways to work around it. My grandmother always had a very famous saying, you can get so much further in life with a little bit of sugar than you can with a lot of salt. So that's my philosophy. So I make sure that the neighbors stay very happy with eggs and vegetables, and I reap what I sow, I guess. So I'm just going to kind of every day kind of go through living in the suburban homestead. There's not really a whole lot of things we can. We can't have cows or horses or anything like that. We do have chickens, and I've just started to add some guineas, see how I'm going to process those. And the gardening to me is the real passion. I love the gardening, and I do live in Southern California, so I can really garden for a long period of time. The season is long because of the weather. And right now we are in the end of September, so I still have a lot of summer garden going and fall garden still going. And I did plant some things for winter, but it's still hot. It's 90 degrees out here. Look at the sun is shining and the pool is still warm, and it's almost October. So it should be fun. I hope that you enjoy Bernie's homestead, and we're going to try to make it as fun as we can and as educational as we can. And I would like for you to show your children if you can, because I'm going to have a class, or like a club, may have better said, of little kids and teaching them how to grow vegetables. And when they're grown, what do we do with them? Well, this beautiful tomato, what are we going to do with it? This beautiful squash, what are we going to do with it? How are we going to save the seeds? How do we cook it? How do we prepare it? How do we preserve it? So teaching young people about sustainability, and we just don't know where the world's going today. It's a crazy place. So a little education can go a long ways. And welcome to Bernie's Homestead.